Hey guys, my name is Nick McLean, and this is the NM Music Channel, where we talk about anything and everything related to the modern musician. And today you've joined us for the Q&A session, where if you don't have questions, we go and find them. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about this channel. We do a bunch of Q&A answers. I gotta lower that volume, otherwise I'm gonna go insane myself. We do a bunch of Q&A answers, a bunch of jazz lessons, and that's what you joined here today is the 3:30 jazz lesson. I try to get on here every single day to answer jazz questions, to answer your questions about music or anything like that. Also, we have lessons that we actually publish or make every single Monday. So there's a new lesson. You can look at that on our lessons playlist on our channel. Subscribe to that to get to the channel easier. But there's a lessons playlist. Listen and play along with those lessons. That's what those are for. And yeah, so it's all about learning to play some jazz. It's not a sequential lesson. This lesson's for everyone. It's free for everyone. Here's the catch, or I shouldn't say the catch. Here's the cool part. Down in the link below, down in the link below, there is a, or down in the description below, there's a link that you can grab. Click that link, and it lets you record and submit your own audio and video to be reviewed live on this channel. So we take one day of every single week, or if we have a lot of people, we'll take multiple days. It just depends on what's going on here with this new live session kind of thing. So yeah, you jump in there, go ahead and record yourself completing the assignments that are at the end of those lesson videos, and I will give free input, give you basically a free lesson on what you've performed. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's get started today. Today is the music Q&A. Okay, so getting set up and started for the music Q&A. What is the music Q&A? This is the first time this first segment this is going on. You know, I figured it'd be fun to help people out there get to know the channel while answering their questions. So we got to find people, one, that are into music, and we got to find people, two, that have questions. And yeah, I know there's probably only like a couple people watching this live or a couple after that, but that's the point. Let's find those people and get them hip to this new thing that we're doing here. So I got a setup here that I've worked on. I've loaded the Reddit actually on, is it in Jazz Theory? No, let's do the trumpet one. That'd be so cool. And there's a way for me to hit this button. Let me see. I got to prep it for you guys. We're going to do, how about, I'll put myself in the corner, right? Yeah. We'll do a picture-in-picture here with this and this. And how hip is this? Yeah. So, here we are. We're going to the trumpet Reddit. That should be not back. Oh, here we go. Trumpet Reddit. Check it out. Let's see if we got any good questions here. 37 people online. That's pretty cool. First of all, we need to make a post. Hello, Trumpet Reddit. A group post. If you guys are watching, we're posting together on this Reddit just to get people in here and asking these musical Q&As about learning music. And remind me, create post. Here we go. Live now on YouTube. Answering any trumpet, jazz, music questions. Hey all. Check out my new live YouTube show featuring, is it featuring? YouTube show. Bring your questions. And of course, the link. Post. Cool. Thanks for helping me do that, guys. Oh, okay. How about a little bit of this tune? As we get into our first question. All right, DCI. Nah. Eastman Flugelhorn. No. Miles Davis fans. Maybe. I'm trying to look for something that we can play along to. By the way, get your horns out. We got to play along to something. Is this a good beginner trumpet? 35-year-olds. Played guitar almost 10 years. Did not stick. Wow. He likes trumpet. He's just asking about a certain trumpet. Okay. Start learning trumpet, specifically jazz trumpet. Let's read this one. Didn't want to spend too much on the trumpet, as mainly wanted to spend money on lessons. Don't really know yet what I'm looking for in terms of quality beginner trumpet, so I want to know if this is a good deal. Just another trumpet thing there. I know we'll find a good question here if we keep looking. I'm here. Yeah, I like this Reddit page. Feel like, here we go. That's a guy giving advice. Okay, trumpet and training. No, lead by detached. Places to rent professional trumpets. Performance dress. Yeah. All right. I'm in high school and I've played in multiple concerts and done marching shows, but I've never really felt stressed in those, as they were only attended by people that I mostly knew. Our band recently did a competition where there were actually judges, which were a first time for me. When it came time for my solo, one of the pieces, I got really tense and stressed and had trouble breathing. I managed to play it pretty well, but I wonder if there's any ways that anyone uses it to deal with their stress on their own, aside from just performing more than I know. I know that much, of course. Okay, let's see what people have said. There's plenty of advice so far. Being well prepared is crucial. Yes, of course. Under preparation is going to just make you more nervous. Over preparation will make you less nervous. Okay? And play with enough air. Of course, of course. Also, just taking some deep breaths beforehand and shows. Yes, of course. I like that as well. I think I have some advice that's going to go right into with that. Let's see what other people have said first. Make sure we're not going to really repeat too much here. Practice the earpiece top to bottom dozens of times. Over preparation again. Well, cool. So it seems like we've got a good amount of advice here already. And before we leave, we want to make sure we add something here that can help. Confidence. Yeah, definitely. All right, so here's one of the tips I give out to my students to help, especially on performances. Of course, in the comments, you're mostly seeing these be well prepared and be well prepared and be over prepared, and let's see if we can pause this so we can talk a little bit. Be well prepared, be over prepared, and make sure you breathe a little bit and relax and don't question what is perfect. I saw this one right here about getting in your head and playing the wrong note. Of course, that's all great. Here's some advice that I use that's calmed me down in the past. You know, once you're prepared and getting to that day and you're trying your best to do that. Nerves still will happen, and that's a great thing. Being nervous is not a bad thing, but channeling those nerves is the key there. And like you said in your original post, being what was the words you said? It was something like having experience performing over and over again definitely is going to help you out. But here are a couple of other things that will help you out. Go in, one, with a plan, right? I always make sure my students have a plan of attack for the audition, a plan of attack for the performance. Where are you going to stand? How are you going to stand? Every single detail, you kind of want to think about it. You don't need to think about it on the day, because that's going to overload your brain. But having thought about it is going to prepare you for that day. And when you get in that spot and you need to think about something real quick, it's already done. You've already thought about it a little bit. So here's a couple things that I like to go through with my students that can help you out as far as performance goes. One, especially for sight reading, or if you have especially a piece that's kind of easy and then has a hard part and then easy part again. If you're looking at your piece and you're about to play and you have control over how much time you take before that audition, And we're starting purely right now from the time that you are picking up your horn and about to play. We'll come back for the pre-audition stuff here in a second. If you are sitting there and you're about to play, and you have a couple seconds before that audition, and if it's sight reading or if it's that one where you have a little bit harder of a segment in the middle, I want you to look at that segment and then get your tempo based off of that segment, right? Sing that segment to yourself in your head, of course. Sing it to yourself and get that tempo there. One of the things I hear that a lot of my students do, or when I judge competitions and whatnot, students will have a piece that's pretty easy in the beginning, and they can play that the best because it is the easier part of the song. But then in the middle of the song, they end up slowing down, or they don't slow down, and it's a train wreck for the middle of the song. So either of those kind of ruin the performance as well. While if they had just originally picked a tempo based off the harder section that they could perform, then played the beginning section a little slower, then yeah, we would have had a much better performance, and you probably would have been more comfortable, because I already know how it feels. I've done this many times where I'm playing. Oh, here comes the hard part. I know it's coming 10 measures ahead, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm hearing in my head, this is too fast. This is too fast. This is too fast. And we get there, and right, it goes south. It's happened to everyone. Don't let that adjust how you practice and then perform, but let it make you have a plan. Count yourself in. Use a tempo based off of the hardest part, the most appropriate tempo you can pick for that first thing. So yeah, then as you're going, I would definitely make sure, and this is one of the tips that I give for my newer students, make sure you're practicing with make sure you're going to warm up with the actual tonality of the piece, right? If you have a song that's in a minor key and the student plays the relative major, I know two things are going on. One, that kid is not thinking tonally, or that student is not thinking totally, I should say. I shouldn't call them all kids. I'm mostly dealing with kids here. Yeah, it's they're not thinking tonally, they're just thinking random notes, and that's not a good sign either if they're playing the wrong key to warm up, or if that makes sense. And I think that in your younger years, you should definitely have that opportunity to play one scale, to get your air flowing, to get your sound going, to get to get everything working. I mean, every gig that I play, I pick up my horn in front of everyone. I don't care how many people are watching. I'm going to blow a couple notes to make sure I'm ready to go, and that's okay. There's no shame in that. There is a strict kind of thing that happens in the audition world where they're like, no, you must not play and sound great before your solo. And I think that's just absurd. If you have that opportunity, get that tonality in your ears, right? So we've had two tips so far that deal with the actual right before you play and going through your playing as well. I guess the third tip I could give while you are playing, right? I think this tip was mentioned here. The over preparation while you're playing should kick in. That's where you've jumped in. You've alleviated all that pre-audition stuff with counting yourself in correctly, breathing, and getting the right tonality in your ears before you started playing. But once you started playing, your over preparation, that's probably going to kick in. So the key from there, for me at least, is just think about playing the song. Play music at that point. Keep going, right? Play the song. If you were singing a song in a crowd and you messed up, you wouldn't stop and let that affect how you sing the rest of the song. Play like that, and no one's going to care if you mess up and you get back on. It'll be great. So those are three tips I can give you while you're performing through the piece. Now, here's one tip. I was thinking of it a second ago. Going into your audition or going into your performance. I used to get really nervous as well. Surprisingly, who doesn't though? And I would get really dry mouth, or my knees would shake, and it caused everything to shake. I was so nervous that I couldn't think about anything else. One of the things you can do, I think someone hit it, they were saying breathe, take a couple deep breaths. One of the things I did is I did some mini meditation, and I can tell you in no way do I meditate on a regular, it's only when I need to. It's like about 20 minutes before the audition. I'm not practicing at this point. You're not practicing. That's just review, and you don't need to review much. You've over-prepared, you're ready to go. But take that time to sit down, relax, close your eyes in a quiet room if possible, right? Do not play. Do not think about your music. Just go at it, right? And yeah, go from there and take a deep breath. Take some cycles of deep breaths. And you can read about some easy meditation techniques. All I did was just take a couple deep breaths and then sit there for 2 minutes, then did it again. Sit there for 2 minutes, making sure I didn't over-oxygenate, of course. But yeah, going from there and making sure you can relax, because then something weird happens. You walk into the room and you're already relaxed. You have a plan to start those 3 tips I just gave you a second ago to start. And yeah, it makes it so it's easier to execute that audition or that performance. Okay. Now, we've answered a little bit of your question, or we've kicked in some input here. I guess the overall gist of this is have a plan, have a plan, have a plan. So I guess what we got to do now is tell you that we answered your question, right? Of course, you don't know that was a text-based forum. So how are we going to do that? Let me get my handy-dandy combo thing up here. Boom. Let's put it in there. We answered it on today's show. Hey, man. Is it a man? I don't even know. Hey. Hello, person. I featured your question on my new YouTube show, my new YouTube live jazz lessons series. Here's the link. And we'll also say the people below have some great input. Over preparation is key. Oh, misspelled it. There we go. Ah, done. Comment. Cool. Easy peasy. Give them a little bit. Say, hey, I did read this. We went through this. Anyways, thanks for the question. I know it's not a voluntary question, but, like I said, we're out here trying to get some people to be aware of our new series here where we have questions and answers. All right, if you guys have any questions at all while we're working on this, working on finding a new one here, I want you over into the right, into the comments. Make sure you ask that question. Or that's the chat, yeah? The chat, you can only use that while we're here live. So if you're checking in later, I love to answer your questions later too. I know everyone can't make it to the 3:30 live jazz lesson every day, but we can ask questions down in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer any of those. By try my best, I will answer them. All right, going on. Let's find someone else. Let's find another question here, huh? Here we go. Back. And we use a mouthpiece booster. Nah. I think I did get a message the other day that, here we go. Maybe if I hit context, I can go to the full comments. Yeah, look at this. All right. How can I get into jazz theory? Hello, I've played bass for a few years now, and I know some jazz songs and love listening to jazz a lot, but I'm not really knowledgeable about playing jazz. I'd like to get to the point where I know enough that I can turn up to a cafe or a club, and someone will say what standard they're going to play, and I can play along because I don't know the standards. And I don't know really how to get into them. Any books or websites you can recommend to be great. Sorry if this is limiting, but I don't want to play monthly or anything. More than willing to pay for books and stuff, though. Yeah, a lot of people can get into jazz way easy without paying monthly or anything. Why not? I mean, that's what this series is about. This is about you guys coming in here and asking questions or taking some of the lessons that we post and working through them and then bringing them back and seeing if we can help you out with them. So, yeah, how do we do that? And I think I answered this briefly here a second ago. Let's see. Hey, you have some great goals. Check out Dan Hurley's book called The Jazz Language. It's a basic theory text. Now, that's a great text. You asked for some books, so I gave you a theory text that I thought is simple. It's literally like that. It's very thin. But take a theory class. Are you in high school? If or in college, take a theory class that can help you really understand what's going on.